Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to this live stream, guys. And it's 30th of Jan. The month is about to end, and the bulls are about to, you know, make a massive amount of money. So we begin with the other crypto market cap. Honestly speaking, I've been very vocal about it, that this triangle is the highest probable trade actually, and the green one is more likely in my view. That's my primary scenario. However, I mentioned that I was very vocal about it, and I was very clear that two ways of playing. Either for those who are very aggressive, you can long around here with your stops under equilibrium, but that is going to give you a little less risk reward. However, for those who are not in any alts, let's say no coins you have bought yesterday along with me, those coins are up like 3%, some are up 4% max. So you can look for or wait for a breakout, and the breakout is going to be here around $353 billion. That is going to give you a very good confluence and a positive energy and a huge confirmations that the bottom is in, and it's likely going to be up only season for the month of Feb. So this is what the primary analysis stands. Still, there is no change in the plan. Now, if you really want, basically that I still want to take a long over here. I don't want to miss even 13% move. So the bottom move, if you see here, it's already like 5.6% move is done. And basically, if it flips the red line, it can go for another 6.8 to 7.5% move. So if you don't want to miss that 7.5% move, this red line is what you really want. Other crypto market cap to flip. The flip in the sense gets acceptance above. Basically, you don't want to see it is like a deviation or some sort of a trap, another trap for the bulls. So once you get acceptance, the price is simply going to pump up, and this can be a very good opportunity for you. I mean, in my view, for us basically. So if you really want to long anything, let's say, just wait for the 4 hours candle to flip, because every damn time this is where the 4 hour rejection happens. But if you still want to be a little more aggressive, you can look for 1 hour flip, basically 2 1 hour close above and go in. So you just need to probably wait for this 1 hour candle is going to get closed in 4 minutes, which is going to be a flip in my view. The next candle it closes like this, it's a very good flip again. Okay, now many of you might even say that this might be the bear flag. This can be a bear flag here. So this can be a very clean bear flag, So it's like a trap. This bounce might be a trap in my view. Possibilities there. So hence, I suggest, even 1 hour flip is slightly risky. You need to wait for the 4 hour flip. So if the 4 hour is flipped with 2 consecutive close above, then things are good. You can long with your stops under, clearly $320 billion, which is like 2% from the entry. And you can catch a very good, alts basically. Now, remember, not every alts are going to pump. There are, of course, alts that are lagging a lot, and alts that are not looking great as well. So you need to look for those alts that are holding up the structure. For example, like Litecoin, you have CRV holding up the structure, Litecoin holding up the structure, and it's a very good, I would say, triangle formation that's happening on Litecoin. Just look at the 4 hours time frame. It's a very good triangle formation happening. I would like to see one more push on the downside if it is Q1, but if it's not, then we will see. But I still expect one more downside on the Litecoin. Let's see if it is Q1. Now, another alt is Aave. It's holding up the structure so nicely, and the pump was wave 1. This is like a wave 2 to me. So how would you look for long on Aave? Basically, let it flip 307.9, which is roughly around 308. Once it flips like this, you can long with your take profit. First target will be 359, and if that is flip again, yeah, this will go for a massive move towards $500, maybe even $600. So it's a massive, possibility for a big push up on Aave. Say guys, I mentioned 29.9 to 26.8 is your buy zone. It went to 29.2 on Binance and in Bybit as well, and got a very good bounce so far. Maybe if one more push is given on the downside, we can long and you can build some swing. I would wait for it to reclaim 33.4. Once this range lows is reclaimed, it's a clean long, and we can simply long from there with a very tight stop loss under 30 cents, and our take profit targets would be, first it would be 52 cents, and if it flips, then probably I think it can just simply go for a massive breakout. So this is going to be a trend channel, and that's going to be our channel basically. So that's what we have for say. Now coming to Bitcoin guys, this was the plan I mentioned in the previous stream. Not yesterday, day before yesterday when we were here. I mentioned that I'm expecting it to go to 99.5. Slightly missed actually. I had a very good limits over there. It front run my bids and it went to 100.2. It did not went to previous month equilibrium and simply pushed out. I mentioned in the morning that it has got a very wonderful breakout. The only problem is it's lagging a little bit volume actually. So yeah, there is the volume is slightly not good for a breakout, but it's okay. Still it's a breakout, and you have a nice support of 104.675. So honestly, if this level is flip, I think we might see a little bit chop over here in my view. Ideally, I would like to see a little bit chop till maybe 31st of Jan sideways, and then probably look for a push. So how it should play out normally in normal circumstances, I would like to see BTC push up maybe today towards 107 to 108k. Okay, so it gives you a push up, finishes the 5 waves. So this is your clean wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's going to be 5 waves. Then we got a pullback, like a breakout retest to 101 to 107. And then we push up like this for a bigger wave 3, 116, and maybe it can even push up to $120,000 because we are looking for a diagonal, guys. So I'm literally looking for a very good diagonal over here. If you remember the diagonal scenario I mentioned, this is going to be your choppy diagonal scenario for the wave 5 here. So the pump that we got from the lows was wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, a retest of 109, and wave 5 like this. So, and after that, dump. So this is also aligns with my UTAD, the week of schematics. The week of schematics, if you check, this week off is what is aligning with. Now the worst case scenario would be, absolutely worst case scenario that for the Bitcoin, as it did not retest the 786, ideally a perfect retest of 786 would be preferred in case we are playing a perfect week of accumulation. So in this scenario, we haven't got that. So what might possibly over here is that there is a likelihood that this move is just wave A. The pump is wave B over here. We go to 107.5 to 108. Take the liquidity and dump. Probably, the first week of Feb might get just chopped us out like A, B, C, and then the ultimate move happens. Now this is also a possibility, and that's the reason I'm still waiting a little bit more to play the altcoins. And that's why you really want this H4 to flip, and this shouldn't be like a bear flag, because if this is a bear flag, then it's going to be very, very tricky for altcoins in my view. So you need a concrete confluence a concrete flip of H4 levels for others. Once that flip, you can buy whatever the coins you want. I mean, they will pump anyways. So wait for the flip for H4. If somebody wants to be more aggressive, H1 is still, I would say, good, but it's a 50-50 chance. For H1 can be like a fake out, and it can be. So, but still H4 is really good. H4 flip, 2 consecutive close above, and you can simply buy whatever the coins you want. So we just don't want to get chopped, because the ultimate motive for the total crypto market cap is to, it's like forming a very solid, I would say, bull flag over here. Just look at the bull flag. This can be a wave 2 as well. The bottom might be in, basically. And once you get a breakout like this to 0.14, 0.14 is a bull bear territory. Once that is flipped, then you see how things going to run. We can simply run like this. Total crypto market cap to $4 trillion, maybe on 4.13, which also put me in a very odd situation with ETH Bitcoin. ETH BTC will slightly go down. Why? Because BTC dominance is bullish. As I mentioned on the Zoom call that we have with our traders, Bitcoin dominance is not done. Basically, we can see something like this happening on the Bitcoin dominance. The red color count, this is possible. However, what I think, I'll just probably draw it very nicely and clean for you. So it's a range, basically. It's a very clean range. So what I think is once we sweep up the highs, basically on the LTF, once this does something like this, I think Bitcoin dominance dump like this. So that's going to be a very interesting move. And maybe if it reclaims after the sweep of the lows, it will run up like this. Or if it don't reclaim, khalas, that was your top, and we can simply dump like this. And hence, I'm not closing my ETH BTC. I'm just simply accumulating. I'm just simply, guy that, believe that, it's not about belief, but of course, based on the technical analysis, that this is the DCA box. And the DCA box is where you DCA. You don't sell your positions. You DCA. That's what you do. And I'll try to bring my average down to 0.032. Right now it's at 0.0334. So I'll just try to bring it down probably. But I just a little bit more confirmation. And how would I do? And where would I add actually? That's the crucial part. So if you look at the BTC DOM USDT perhaps on the Binance, it's a very simple approach that I would follow on the 4 hours time frame. A very simple approach, as I mentioned to you as well. We draw the range. Basically, I will draw the range over here like this. So on this range, you want to see, a sweep of the highs, and there is an order block over here, and we are having a bigger range inside this on the Bitcoin dominance Binance. Okay, this is Binance chart. This is what you can trade. Basically, you can long or short this. So there are two ranges inside this whole thing. So what I would like to see is any deviation like this, and I would long ETH, I would DCA ETH BTC. Once it comes under this, I would add more position to ETH BTC, and then this is how I like to see the sweep. It's like a liquidity pool basically. And the move was clearly A, B, C. That's A, B, C. 3 waves move basically, which don't make it bullish. So naturally, there are two possibilities. Either here, or we sweep the main highs of 3,500 and then we dump like this. But then dump would be very, very bad actually, because that is going to be good for altcoins, but bad for Bitcoin basically. And that's what you want. That's going to be like 24% downside. So it's a very good trade. If somebody wants to take it, you can you can take it as well. But I'm very much comfortable with ETH BTC. So I'm just simply going to build a huge position on ETH BTC. I already have a huge position on ETH BTC. And it's a very good M pattern formation over here at this moment on the 4 hours time frame on ETH BTC. The average is here basically 335. This is where the average, almost down like 10%, but I think that's what you should be risking, because if you really want to make 50%, you need to risk at least something, 5 to 10% move is reasonable. So I think this is very, very clean, some sort of a 1, 2, or some sort of a ABC, maybe one more down possibility is there just to sweep these lows. Okay, the lows are swept, but let's see, one more down like this. When the Bitcoin dominance, go for the sweep of the highs, and then probably we reverse to take up the liquidity towards 331 and eventually go up to 363. So that would be a good play. So I'm not going to DCA it right now, but definitely I'll DCA. Ethereum plan, guys. Yesterday was a very good, I would say, swing that we would have caught at 3,118. Our stop was also very wide, 2,981. But I decided to close it around 3,085 for a very 0.1, 0.05 hour loss. But and then again I relonged it, but then the FOMC wick literally it wigged me out actually at 3,054, and then we started pumping up. So I was not expecting this sort of a week actually, but yeah, that's what it is. But so far the plan for ETH is still same actually. I really don't have an alternative wave count. It's a very chopped wave count. This can be a truncation. This might be the truncated wave, some sort of a truncated wave 5 like this. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. A truncation. It's a possibility. So, ETH can probably continue towards 3,264, and if it goes for a breakout 3,323, then it's the end. I mean, it's going to run very hard basically. But let's see. Now, even though everything looks great and in the real world, let's say everything is perfect, but we need to look at the realistic picture basically for Ethereum. So the realistic picture for ETH is, there is a 3-tap setup right now. It's a very strong. Everybody talks about that on Twitter. I mean, we already knew the 3-tap setup, and it's very, very difficult to play this 3-tap setup when we are literally shitting the bed, and when ETH is literally shitting the bed with Bitcoin. I mean, it's like literally acting as one of the worst coin on the planet, So it's very, very difficult to play. But yeah, we are holding these lows. We are holding it. And I do remember playing this sort of setup when we were talking about, Bitcoin in 2021. If you remember, I played that long at $29,000, $28,000 towards 69K. When everybody was like, we are topped and we are dumping, like here. This was a perfect 3-tap setup. This here. So this was also again a 3-tap setup, and then we started pumping up. Now a similar 3-tap setup I'm watching on ETH. Basically, it's a very different one, but yeah, it's a valid one actually. So what we might happen with this thing is we can do something like this. We may go for a little bit retest, continuation, flip, run. No pullback, just a run. No pullback. This is how the 3-tap setup should play out, basically. So in real world, 90% of traders would think that the move is a dead cat bounce and Ethereum is going to dump a lot. Why? Because of this cipher. So everybody can see this cipher, okay? This is a very strong cipher. But I think this cipher is not going to play out. What is likely going to play out is a shark. So we will see a very solid shark around 4,004, $100 to $4,500. It's a very good shark basically, but we're still very, very early. I mean, if let's say everything is good and Bitcoin holds up, Ethereum, ETH BTC just starts reversing, then this is a very high likely trade. However, if Ethereum decides to go other way around, if it loses this $3,000, or I would even say $3,100 levels again, then it's going to be a massive problem for ETH. Trust me, because there is no support till 2,750 or 2,713. There is no actual support, and then it also opens up the door for more downside towards 2,159, like a range. But yes, if it loses 3,108 again, this range lows of 3 tap, it's going to be very, very difficult, very difficult. So as a trader, I would say you need to really, really manage your trade position size along with the risk basically, because risk is very, very important and you manage, very, very important. And if it goes against your against you basically, if we start going back under 3,108, I would say accept the loss and just exit. Don't marry any position, because it can literally hurt us, like badly hurt us. So that's the reason, I mean, this structure wise, it looks great. Everything looks good. Everything is goody on the outside. But you never know, I mean, when things can turn, bad for us. I've already personally longed Ondo on the breakout. I've already longed on this breakout like 1.497. I've given a trade on Discord as well at 1.51 on a retest or pullback. And since yesterday I was mentioning that anything above 1.39 is a very good, if somebody wants to go for aggressive long, they can long, but I was waiting for this breakout. And now that we have got a breakout over here, any pullback, on over here like this. So the structure is clean, and you get a pullback like this, you run up to take a liquidity. And in my view, Ondo is likely going to see this highs basically. This is where we should go 1.95 to 1.94. And the most bullish case would be if it breaks out, and if it flips, then 2.3 to 2.5 is where it can possibly go actually. So that's what we have for Ondo. Atom as well looks great. I'm simply going to wait for Atom to, give us a breakout. And I'll go massive long on Atom. I'm having near underwater. I would not say underwater. It's like deep underwater. But I do think a bounce is going to happen. I still miss my 4.17 levels at 786, which is going to complete the triangle basically. Because if you test there, the triangle is complete. And you can just really look for a push up to 7.6 to 7.7. Like this is a triangle. Now, a worst case scenario, as I mentioned, I will hedge around anything from 7.3 to 7.6 just in case if it goes for a fake down. So if everything breaks, before March, then even near is going to break. So I'm just going to take profits or hedge probably at 7.6. And if it goes for a breakout, I'll rebuy. But it's a whole, I mean, we are going to be in profits in first week of Feb, inshallah. I think we have discussed a lot of coins. VIF, I think I am expecting a push up on VIF towards 1.6 to 1.55, and then probably dump it back down to 78 to 80 cents. TIA can give you a very good bounce, guys. The way VIF did, TIA can do. So once it goes down probably under 3.67, you can play some scalps because it can give you 30-40% bounce easily. So yeah. So guys, this is what the plan on the lower term time frame. Let's see how things plays out. So far, even USD dominance looks bearish to me actually. I mean, it did not reclaim the 4.15%. We still need to see what exactly, which sort of, PO3 is going to play out. I hope that you guys know what is PO3. basically. So it's a range. We are ranging right now. So it's like, you go for an accumulation. So that's what the accumulation looks like. It's in the range. We are accumulating. We haven't swept the highs. We haven't swept the lows. So either we go for a manipulation like this, and then we go for an expansion, like this, or we run up like this and we go for expansion on the downside. But I do think right now the most favorable case is this. So we dump, USD dominance dump like this to 3 point, how much exactly? 3.53%. Can even go down to 1618? Where the hell is 1618? Yeah, 3.38%, anywhere in between. And after that, an expansion can happen basically. So this is going to be good if it plays out, which means that everything is going to pump up a lot. And there's a possibility even this PO3 might not play out. We simply dump like this because the accumulation is big. So the manipulation will also be very big. So we simply dump like this a lot, and then, accumulate, and we run up. It's not going to be an easy manipulation because in a bigger range, we have been ranging since December 2024, 5th of December 2024. It's a big range if you look at the 1 hour chart. So you really need at least few days time till maybe 16th to 17th Feb, and then probably look for an expansion. So I think this is the very good probability for now. Total 2, guys, as I mentioned, there is still a bear flag possibility, but I do think that if everything looks great, then this bear flag is not going to play out, and this is simply going to be 1212, which is more bullish for Ethereum, meaning that this was some sort of a wave 1, wave 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And ETH, total 2 will go slightly beyond, I would say 1414. It can push it up to a one full-fledged extension to $2 trillion, which is good, which is a massive amount of money we are talking about. As well as total FI. Total FI, I would say don't touch right now. Wait for it to reclaim the red line, which is $125 billion. Once it reclaims, you can long. So DeFi is still patiently wait for it. But the rest of the DeFis are looking great. Other crypto market cap, overall, it looks great. If it reclaims here 4 hours, 2 consecutive close, khalas, you can long. Yes, I'll play spot and coin margin. I will go 5x coin margin on Atom if it breaks out, So what I will do is once it goes for this breakout of 6.3 to 6.4, I'll just simply buy the spot backs. Then I'll wait for it to, give me a little bit more confirmation like this. So let me show you. So let's say we pump up like this. We reject, we go for double bottom, we break out. So I'm simply going to buy spot backs. And then you get a bigger chalk over here. And then when you look for a support like this, a retest, this is where I build a coin margin. This is where I buy spots. And I'll let it ride like this. My stop loss would be under this. This is where my stop loss would be, under 5.8. For the safer stop loss, you can even put it like 5.75. You can put that way as well. And my first take profit target would be here, 7.8, because you have a liquidity pool, 7.8. And once we reclaim this like this, I'm simply going to move my stops like this here in profits. Whatever it wants to do, we will see at that point of time. Because if it's bullish, it should pump up like this. If it's not, what it's going to do is dump like this. So we will see. And hence, moving stops in profits makes more sense then at that point of time. But it would be a good risk reward at that point of time. So I'm simply going to play ETH at this point, and Ondo for sure. Ondo has a very good breakout. Volume is good. If you look at the 1 hour chart, yeah, the volume is pretty much good. It is above MA, which is a good sign for Ondo basically. Okay, that's all for today's stream. Okay, one last shot. Gold. Gold is at resistance, guys. So it's a very simple pattern. You will see it's an inside out pattern. Inside out means, how many of you know what is inside out? Inside out means that, you know, when you have a base for some sort of a wave 4 or something, and you get a move on an upside like this, and once we have a chalk, a bearish chalk, basically we had, you know, sweep the lows, the liquidity is grabbed, and now we are facing a resistance of the range highs, basically the previous range highs, like a shoulder. So this is an inside out. So unless we reclaim this levels of 2763, don't long it. If you have long, take profits. That's what I would do. And if it reclaim, then yes, we will run like this. If it's not, then simply it is going to be a good short like this, and we can just probably dump it back down to 2712, you know. So it's an inside out pattern, and you see many alts are forming a very similar pattern, and that's what I was talking about for say very good inside out pattern. Just look at this chart, a very clean inside out pattern, very clean, very clean. So once it reclaims the 0.338, or I would even say 0.33 cents, we can long. Once it reclaims, their take profit targets are going to be 52 cents. A lot of coins are forming such patterns. For example, look at Aave, for an instance, you know, Aave. So you can just, I'm talking very basics, you know, right now, very basics. This is the lows we have, and this is going to be the range highs, or you can say this was a range highs, let's say. So any pullback or retest, if it gives like 291, can be a gift, and we run up to 351, 360 maybe. So this can be a good setup basically. Slightly front running, and with 3% stop loss and a take profit targets of here in the red box. Still 20% move, guys. Very good 20% move. Similarly, look at here, AVEX. I forgot AVEX. This is another example. It's not exactly, or I would say kind of a what do you say, inside out, but just look at this structure on the here actually. Yeah, it's a indication of a PO3 basically. It's a one of the PO3 setup, not, you know, a perfect one, but kind of, where the liquidities were taken 2 times in this red box, you know. And it seems like if this red line 33.57 is flipped, is reclaimed, we can expect a massive pump on AVEX like this. If it is lost, then it can be a good short with a take profit targets to $31. So I think if somebody wants to take some aggressive scalp, it's a very risky right now, because others, you know, others crypto market cap haven't flipped yet on the 4 hours. So if somebody wants just simply very aggressive one, this is here actually with a, you know, entry at 33.6, which just stops under 32.5 is what you can take. Very aggressive one. But I would not play that aggressive one. I would simply wait for it to others to flip on H4, AVEX to give us a very nice chalk. So give us a chalk like this, then a pullback, a retest, we long, and then you can ride. So this is going to be a very good long on the AVEX. This is how you should play. But Aave is looking good from this perspective, 3-tap setup. So any pullback to 291 can be a good scalp actually with a very tight stop loss. Similarly, if you look CRV is likely also doing some sort of a, you know, 3-tap. Just look at here. CRV here, very good 3-tap actually. and the very high probability of this plays out. Why? Because even if you got a 3 tap, you at least get a pullback to, some sort of like 786 Fibonacci levels, or maybe even golden pocket zone, if not 786. So I'm just going to stick with this. So at least, any pullback to 70 cents, this is how, it can run up to 786 Fibonacci levels. And if it is bad, it will dump like this, the way AVEX did, So even this is a very good, very, very, very good chart. At least I'm not sure if it's going to straight away it pumps from here to $2, but at least what I know is it can give you a nice impulsive move for like 30%. On a pullback of 70 cents, 25%, or max, 34%. Still, it is good. Still, it is a good move, one can expect from CRV. So, yep, that's all what I have for today's stream, guys. And let's connect probably in the evening as well and see. I mean, I'm completely monitoring it. If others crypto market get flipped with 4 hours candle, I'll give you long. Till then, I won't give you any altcoin longs, only the ones that is breaking out. For example, Ondo, very high probable trade, and that's the reason I gave you, else I wouldn't have even given you. Actually, it's a very high probable one. That's the reason I gave. Okay, so that's all for today's stream, guys, and let's connect probably in the evening. Cheers. Bye bye.